Hello, my name is Kiriath and we're back for a cheeky Tuesday Warhammer 40k video where we're going to have a look at the Craftworld Focus for Iyanden. So yeah, Iyanden are the first of the focuses, the first of the Craftworld focuses, and I was going to say by the time this comes out they won't be, but they'll just not be the latest, they'll still be the first. Something like that. Time, how does it work? Anyway, we all know what Iyanden is, even I know, and I'm not a massive Eldar person. Iyanden is a Craftworld renowned for its tragic history and its serried spirit host, making heavy use of Ghost Warriors than any other, as they say on the website. Wraith constructs will be an important part of Iyanden armies. I mean, I would hope that that's just a statement of the blindingly obvious, because every Iyanden army I've ever seen has been almost entirely made up of constructs and almost nothing else. So you kind of hope that would be the case. But their Craftworld attribute is versatile enough to allow for a range of powerful builds. So there's just one thing that I have to say, by the way, just before we go into this. I'm not sure about calling it Craftworld attributes, and I don't know why that is. It doesn't feel interesting, it doesn't feel special. I know it's just what that Craftworld gets, and so it doesn't need to be something all fancy, but Craftworld attribute doesn't sound as thematic as, like, Legion tactics or chapter tactics or, you know, regiment or whatever. You know, I don't know, there's just something lacking about it, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me, it's probably just me, but yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, so the Craftworld attribute for Iyanden is stoic endurance. The tenacity of those from Iyanden is the stuff of legends. Their Craftworld has suffered much, yet the spirits of both its living and dead remain unbowed or unbowed, whichever way that's supposed to be. A unit with this attribute can never lose more than one model as a result of any single failed morale test. I like it. In addition, if a unit with a damage chart has this attribute, double the number of wounds it actually has remaining when you are consulting the chart to determine its characteristics. And I really, really like that second bit. I have to admit, I really like that. That really... The first part of it, you know, losing a single model as a result of a single failed morale test, that's good, and it does... I mean, it says what it is, stoic endurance. You know, it's like it gives this idea of an implacable force that, you know, no matter what happens, is just going to keep on coming, which I absolutely feel fits Iyanden. The second part of that, though, with doubling the number of wounds for damage charts and stuff, that feels even better. Like, that really does hammer it home that you're just going to have a real hard time shifting this stuff, which is exactly what it should be for Iyanden. For a bunch of Wraith constructs, that's exactly what you want. So yeah, I like that a lot, I really do. As they point out, on the other side of the coin, 20 strong units of Guardians become much more efficient and make for excellent targets for psychic powers without having to worry about being more than morale phase with the first part of Stoic Endurance, which, yeah, I can see that. And whilst I have to admit that the few people I know have Iyanden armies don't really have that much in the way of Guardians lying around that march into battle with them, I could see that being decent. I could see that being an interesting way to take it. I have to be honest, I have no idea how fluffy that is. I could not comment on that at all. But the actual attribute itself feels pretty fluffy to me. Even with my limited knowledge of Eldar, I know what Iyanden are about, and it fits what I've seen of Iyanden. So, and I love the example they give for the second part of Stoic Endurance. Enemies will need to chip 17 wounds off of an Iyanden Wraith Knight before seeing any appreciable difference in its combat effectiveness. That's mental. That's awesome. I really like it. I mean, if you don't like Wraith Knights, or you don't like fighting Wraith Knights, then I'm afraid you're in for a bad time in that case. But I mean, it just feels completely appropriate. So yeah, I'm happy with that. They pick out Wraithblades as one of the best units, which you'd think they would, and they did, so it's fine. And they even say it'd hardly be an Iyanden army without some Ghost Warriors, would it? No, it would not. The Wraithblades and Wraithguard have been brought up to toughness 6, and Wraithlords have been brought up to toughness 8, which is quality, and Wraithblades have 3 wounds. Now, I wondered yesterday, when we were looking at the Citronome of Iyanden, the thing that allows them to double their attacks characteristic, except at the end of the phase they take D3 mortal wounds. I made the comment that either that is a risky manoeuvre that is going to be high reward and like pretty good, depending on how many wounds they had. If they had like 3 wounds, if they had 2 wounds, it's like a borderline suicidal manoeuvre that might be worth it, but having made the video and I was thinking back and afterwards, I was like, if they had like 2 wounds, I don't even think I'd want to do that, because that'd be a bit crazy. But as someone in the comments said, they have got 3 wounds, and it is on the thing here. There you go. Clearly see there, 3 wounds. So yeah, that's now changed in my estimation from a kind of a bit too risky to you could probably mess something up with that. You could really mess something up with that. And with them having 3 wounds each, there is a reasonable chance that you're not going to lose all of them to that manoeuvre. So yeah, I like that. I like that. It's good. And they also point out, as you can see here, what's more, they don't even cost any more points. Nice. So if you want a Wraith Lord and 5 Wraithblades or Wraithguard, you can buy the new Eldar Start Collecting Box with a value of £88.50 for only £50. Look, I'm not going to go full cynical and be like, cheeky bastards. Cheeky, they absolutely stuck that little buff into some more of those. I'm not going to be that guy, but it does kind of make me laugh. It is just a little bit like, here's a new box. Half the things in it are better than they used to be, and for no additional points cost. Just saying. It's just like, okay. Thanks, Games Workshop. Thanks for bringing that out for us. Excellent. Okay, they also mentioned the Spirit Seer, which again, is not really that surprising. So, as they point out, these guys are already an efficient HQ choice for a Craftworld's army, and even have seen a reduction in cost, and now sit at 45 points, only 10 more than a Warlock. Use yours, I like the way this is phrased, like an advert. Use yours to cast the new psychic power, Empower, on your Wraithblades, trigger the Citronome of Iyanden, and throw in the guided Wraith Sight stratagem, and you'll be dishing out 60 Strength 7 AP -3 attacks, hitting on 4+ with a reroll and D3 damage apiece. Sure, enough to scrap even a Baneblade in close combat. I mean, yeah. That sounds, on the surface of it, pretty damn good. 60 Strength 7 AP -3 attacks. That does not sound shoddy, does it? I'm pretty sure, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, which there is a chance of. I think that they've calculated that based off the Wraithblades charging. I did see a comment floating around earlier of someone who was like, well, it wouldn't be that, but if they charge, it would be that. So I think that's what that's based off, that you would charge with them whilst doing that, and that's what would net you 60 attacks as opposed to however many it would be if they hadn't charged. But yeah, that's just something I'll throw out there. I could be completely wrong, or the person that I saw who wrote it down could be completely wrong, but it's worth thinking about, I think. So okay, just to show what Empower does. There's like 2. There's Empower / Innovate. The Psyker helps their comrades to strike out their full potential, imbuing them with the strength of the Eldari heroes of old, while diminishing the powers of his foes. Empower / Innovate has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, choose one of the following. So Empower is to choose a friendly Asuryani infantry or Asuryani biker, just Eldar, unit within 18 inches of the Psyker, add 1 to wound rolls in the fight phase for that unit until your next psychic phase, or Innovate, choose an enemy unit within 18 inches of the Psyker, your opponent must subtract 1 from all wound rolls made for that unit in the fight phase until your next psychic phase. So it's a nice sort of double-ended thing. You can either make your stuff better by 1 for wound rolls, or make the other person's stuff worse by 1 for wound rolls. So yeah, I like it, it's good. And Guided Wraith Sight. When the armies of Craftworld Iyanden march to battle, the spirit hosts are at the centre among the ranks of Wraith constructs, while the Spirit Seers, their minds bridging the gap between the real world and that of the Spirit Realm. Use this stratagem at the start of your turn. When you do so, pick up an Iyanden Spirit Seer from your army. Pick an Iyanden Spirit Seer from your army. Until your next turn, the range of that model's Spirit Mark ability is increased from 6 to 12 inches, and the ability allows friendly Iyanden Wraith construct units to reroll all failed hit rolls instead of only hit rolls of 1. I mean, that is tasty as anything. I really like that. Reroll all failed hit rolls instead of only hit rolls of 1. So yeah, as it says, combine those two with the Citronome of Iyanden, and you can do some serious damage. Of course, there is a massive risk-reward thing for that. I mean, if you did, as they point out, you can scrap even a Baneblade in close combat. If you did manage to charge in and absolutely annihilate a really expensive enemy unit, then that would be grand. But, I mean, what is the points cost for Wraithblades? Again, I'm going back to sort of memory here, but one of the Discord channels that I'm on, someone said something about around 600 points combined for the Spirit Seer and for the Wraithblades. Was it transport included in that? But it's costly. It's not going to be a cheap thing to pull off. And there is that fact that with the Citronome, you are going to have to take D3 mortal wounds. So for each one of them. So not the Spirit Seer, the Wraithblades. But yeah, I do like that. It's a good start. I feel like the Craftworld attribute is pretty good, and I feel like it's appropriate for Iyanden. I'll be honest, I kind of thought with Iyanden there would be more in the way of just making stuff tougher. It would have been a bit more bland, but it also would have worked as well, I think, to fit the Craftworld itself. But I feel like not losing more than one model as a result of failed morale tests, I still feel like that fits. I feel like it fits pretty well. And yeah, overall, I'm quite liking the Iyanden stuff from what they've shown. It'd be interesting to see the see lists and stuff, see what people make of it. And I have to admit, they do make it tempting to pick up that new start collecting box, because that's just like a small Iyanden force right there. So, ooh, cheeky. Anyway, that is the faction focus, the Craftworld focus for Iyanden, and well, I quite like it. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're an Eldar player, especially if you've got an Iyanden army, let me know what you think. Give me a bit more detail, maybe flesh out anything that I've missed. As I say, I'm not an expert on Eldar by any stretch of the imagination, but I do like the look of this stuff. It seems good to me, but I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comments below. You know I always read them, and I will see you tomorrow for, well, another focus. Awesome. Oh yeah, there's stuff to click. There's Patreon and subscribe and videos, all of that stuff. Click if you want to. It's up to you. You don't have to. I won't hold it against you. I'll see you for the next video. Toodaloo.